Hey everyone, and welcome to perhaps one of the most requested videos for Gavs Classics, the live stream from Sunday, the 30th of August 2020, where I plunge everyone into darkness. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So at the beginning of the pandemic in the spring of 2020, I knew that everybody was going to have a really bad time. We could see that we're going into lockdown. We could see that the virus, was going to be really, really bad. And I knew that it was going to be a generally very, very grim few months. And so I was determined that through GavsWeatherVids, I would keep continuity going. And, I was determined I would keep uploading the weather videos through the pandemic, which of course I did, and I also made the decision to bring back the live streams. And I've done some live streaming in 2019. I haven't been very good at the live streams in 2019, but I thought I would have another crack at it through the pandemic. And so I brought back the live streams, did them 3 times a week on a Sunday evening, on a Wednesday evening, and then on a Friday night. And I didn't know how it was going to work out. I didn't know whether it would be successful or not, whether I'd be able to do it. As I say, I haven't been very good when I was live streaming in 2019, but I wanted, again, to give everybody that sense of continuity and community that I knew people would be lacking, through the pandemic, through the lockdown. I knew, that people would be having a bad time. I knew that people would be feeling insecure and worried, and so I decided to start using GavsWeatherVids not only as a mean to as a way to inform through the weather, but also to maybe entertain and develop a community feel that people would perhaps lack a little bit in their own private lives, and that's the decision that I took. And that's what happened. And through the rest of 2020, we did live streams 3 times a week, and we built up an exceptional community. One of the things that I am most proud of with GavsWeatherVids in the decade that I've been doing this, over a decade now, is the live streams that we did through 2020 to 2021, during those pandemic months, during those lockdowns. I think what we did, the way we built up the community together, was unbelievable, and the way that you all embraced the live streams that we did was absolutely phenomenal, and that was the reason that the live stream became so successful, and the community that we built up became what it did, what it is right now. Even though I'm currently having to take a break due to ill health, but it was a decision that I took to live stream 3 times a week, and to build up that community, and the way that you embraced that idea and ran with it, and really went with me on those live stream journeys. That was so incredibly amazing, for me to see that happening. I made many mistakes as I did those live streams, especially the early ones. I wasn't very good. I gradually got better as we went along. Some of the live streams were absolutely epic. Some of them, went like a dream. Some of the live streams in the winter 2020, 2021, during the winter lockdowns, went over like 700 concurrent viewers. Absolutely phenomenal. And amazing and incredible. I never dreamt in my wildest dreams that I'd be live streaming to those kind of numbers. So there were many peaks, but there were also many, many troughs. I made a lot of mistakes. It was a learning curve, and the biggest mistake happened on this live stream, which was Sunday, 30th of August 2020. On this live stream, I met my nadir on YouTube, and it's a moment of infamy that I know I'll never live down. It will always be with me, and so I took the decision early on that I have to embrace it and make the most of it, and that's what I've done. And people still remember this live stream and the plunge into darkness, and a lot of you have asked me to show you this again for Gavs Classics, and so here we go. You sit back and enjoy and watch the plunge into darkness, but also my recovery, perhaps. Did I recover? I think I did. As best as I could, anyway. See what you think, everyone. Enjoy. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much. We're at 97 likes, so can you get us to 100 likes, please, while we're looking at CFSV2? So, hello, good evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us on the live stream tonight. I am going to start showing you CFSV2 Winter 2020-21 data. So, shall we do this? Let's do it, then. So, again, we're going to turn off the image. So, the image is going, and I am going as well, again, for a few minutes. So, I'll be seeing you a little bit later. Woo, I'm very, very tired doing this. I'm going to put up the alert box there, so that's enabled. That should all be working as well. And we're going to move over to CFSV2 website. So here we go. This is, so I'm going to talk you through this, then have a look at Weather Outlook, and then we're going to have a look at Meteo Seal. So a lot to get through this. I'll rattle through it as quickly as I can. This is a 700 millibar height anomaly from the CFSV2 for September 2020. Low pressure dominated, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the west. Winds are coming in from a west or northwesterly direction in September. October looks like this. 700 millibar height on the anticyclonic. Low pressure to the north, high pressure over the country, jet streams push north. So we've got a cool, wet September and probably a dry October. Interesting. Then we go through to November, and we've got low pressure to the northwest, high pressure to west southwest. Winds are coming in from a westerly direction. So with that one going to be a little bit unsettled, going to be a little bit changeable, probably quite mild. December is looking quite unsettled. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the west. Winds are in from the west. That is not a polar vortex of doom type scenario though, and I think the alignment of the trough and the ridge probably allows some cooler air to come in at times from the north. It possibly does. Excuse me. Well, this is January 700 millibar height anomaly. Heights rising to the north. Heights are rising to the north over Greenland. Look at that. Higher pressure appearing over Greenland again. Lower pressure, trough of low pressure over top of the country. That could allow some colder weather. That could allow some colder weather in January. So new development, I think, that was CFSV2, but it is quite interesting. And then February is looking like this, generally westerly in February, with low pressure in from the west and winds in from the west as well. So you know that those charts are like an amalgamation of the 4 CFSV2 runs. And we've got 4 individual CFSV2 runs every day, midnight, 6 in the morning, midday and 6 in the evening. So this is just one of those 4 individual CFSV2 runs. This is September. This is how September is looking. This is from the weatheroutlook.com. Please check out weatheroutlook.com's YouTube channel. Brian at the Weather Outlook is a close personal friend of mine, giving me so much help and support with GavsWeatherVids.com. So please subscribe to the weatheroutlook.com and check out, please subscribe to the Weather Outlook YouTube channel and please check out the weatheroutlook.com. So with this one, this is September. Low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Winds are coming in from a westerly direction in September. This is how October is looking. Again, we've got high pressure to our north and also to our east, low pressure to the southwest. Winds are coming in from a southerly direction. That looks pretty dry, I would have thought, and quite warm as well. November looks like this on this particular CFSV2 run, with high pressure to the west, low pressure to the east. Winds will be coming in from a northerly direction. Winds will be coming in with from a northerly direction with that one. So yes, that could be quite cold, maybe even a little bit of wintry potential in November. December looks like this. Very strange for December. Some higher pressure towards Scandinavia. However, everything looks rather slack. So December is in between and could go either way. January, very interesting. Above average heights over Greenland, extending down to the middle of North Atlantic. Below average heights over and to the east of the country. Winds are coming in from an east or northeasterly direction. That's potentially quite a cold and wintry January. And then February is even more interesting, with again high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure out to the west and also to the south, winds in from an easterly direction. Winds are coming in from an easterly direction in February. So both January and February could be cold and wintry. I'm going to show you one of those CFS V2 runs, I think, in a moment. So let's have a look at one of those individual CFS V2 runs at Meteosea, and you're going to see a little bit of eye candy. So shall we do it? Shall we do it? Shall we do it? Do it! Okay, we're going to move over to meteosea.fr and we're going to have a look at this CFS V2 run. So this is the midday run of the CFS V2, and we're starting at the first day of November. So let's run through it again. You can go to these websites and check out all of the charts for yourself. So early November has high pressure to east, low pressure to west, winds coming up from a southerly southeasterly direction. And that's looking pretty dry, anticyclonic, and quite mild as well. Say this is the CFS V2 midday 12s there run. Right, we're moving up towards bonfire night with again high pressure getting over towards Scandinavia, trying to turn the wind round into the east. And so we're going anticyclonic, probably quite cold, probably quite frosty. With that one. We move on into the middle part of November, and again we've got a high pressure over the top of the country, bringing lots of dry, fine and pretty settled conditions. Cold and frosty though, I would have thought. Gradually the high pressure is moving northwards. High pressure going north. This is 19th of November. High pressure going north and starting to pull quite a cold easterly wind in with it. So it's starting to turn colder into the second half of November. It's an anticyclonic November, pretty dry, but after a mildish first half, probably frost and fog, the second half is turning colder. High pressure is collapsing now. We go through the 24th of November. High pressure is over top of the country. Again, bringing a lot of dry and fine weather with it. And the high pressure gradually easing westwards though. We come towards the end of November. High pressure is gradually easing westwards. And so we're getting to the start of December, and we're beginning to open the door to the north. Or we're trying to. We're trying to open the door to the north, but not quite able to do it up to this point. We're into the 4th of December now. High pressure is over top of the country, and it's bringing quite a lot of dry weather with it. So plenty of high pressure for November and December, but plenty of frost and fog with that as well. Now, we're moving on beyond sort of the 5th through to the 6th of December, and we're dropping cold air into Scandinavia. So we're up to the 8th of December, dropping cold air into Scandinavia. We're trying to get this high pressure north. Are we going to be able to get the high pressure north? Yes, we are. Look at this. We're into the 9th of December. High pressure is setting up over Scandinavia. Winds are turning into the east. We're starting to pull bitterly cold air in from the east, and that'll be bringing snow showers in from the east across many parts of the country. So snow and bitterly cold air advancing in from the east with this CFS V2 run as we go into like the second week of December. And then low pressure is trying to attack from the south. So we've got low pressure then pushing up from the south. That's coming into this cold air. That is bringing snow with it as well as it's running into the cold air. This is bringing blizzards probably across parts of the country. And yeah, so that looks pretty cold and pretty wintry there as we're going into the second half of December. Now, we're coming up towards Christmas. We're introducing a milder southwesterly. So turning wet and windy, thawing out, turning wet and windy as we're moving up towards Christmas. Let's see what it's going to do for Christmas itself. So low pressure then starts to take more of a southerly track. Low pressure begins to clear away to the east, and again we're starting to turn winds into the southwest. It's beginning to turn milder for Christmas. It's indicating a milder Christmas, a bit of a Christmas thaw. So there is cold and wintry weather in this December, but it's not classically cold. This is not classically cold for December. It's on off. Starting to turn cold and frosty again as we're moving towards the new year. High pressure is trying to get Scandinavia. Notice how all the time high pressure is trying to get itself to Scandinavia, but just not quite able to get there. But it is starting to pull in some cooler or colder air from the east. We're moving into the new year now. We're going into the new year of 2020-21, and we're beginning to raise heights to the north. We're trying to pull the wind in from an easterly direction. Is this going to produce a cold January? Is this going to produce a cold January? Let's run on. We're on the 3rd of January. Let's see what it's going to do. So low pressure increasing increasingly taking a southerly track, heights rising up towards Greenland, and we've got a deep cold pool plunging into Scandinavia. So winds are shifting round to an easterly direction. We're starting to bring in bitterly cold air from the east, and snow is coming in from the east as well. We turn very cold then into second week of January. We're turning very cold and very wintry too, with these low pressures taking these southerly tracks, bringing heavy snow, probably focused on England and Wales, while Scotland would be locked into the freezer with that. Scotland will be absolutely locked into the freezer, and we're running up to the middle of January. We're still looking very cold and snowy here. We're still looking very cold and snowy here into the middle of January. Mid-January, though, we get a thaw. Look at this. All change. A complete flip. Heights rise to the south. And we start pulling up much milder air from the southwest. So we have a mid-month thaw there. After a couple of weeks of really cold, snowy, wintry, frozen conditions, for the first couple of weeks of January, the middle part of the month, big thaw taking place. And then we get the high pressure out to our south-southwest. Low pressure is to the north. So second half of January looking a lot milder. Month of two halves for January. Cold, wintry, snowy in the first half. Big freeze actually in the second week of January. Much milder in the second half. And is that polar vortex of doom coming back? Is that polar vortex of doom? We've got the purple colours there around Greenland and Iceland. Always a worry when we see those turning up. But we come to the end of January and probably not. Look at this. Heights are beginning to rise again in the middle of the Atlantic. High pressure is starting to push up from the mid-Atlantic in towards Greenland. Notice this low pressure beginning to dive southwards over top of the country. It's turning very blocked and very cold again. Start of February, we've got a blizzard going on. From the start of February. This is 2nd of February. Low pressure diving southwards through the country and pulling in bitterly cold air from the northeast. So that is a proper old blizzard there that we've got across the country on the 2nd of February. With high pressure up towards Iceland, low pressure diving southwards through the UK, bringing strong to gale force easy winds and heavy snow as well. Let's just run on through February, and then that will be the end of live stream. So that low pressure dives southwards. We get high pressure centering out to west of the country. Winds are in from the east, so cold, wintry weather as we go through the first week of February, losing a snow risk, but with lots of frost there as we go into the second week of February, and plenty of snow on the ground, of course, from that earlier blizzard that we have around the turn of the month. Moving up to the middle of February, Valentine's Day, trying to get the high pressure back to Scandinavia again. Look at this. We're trying to pull wind back in from the east again. In fact, we are pulling wind back in from the east again as we go into the second half of the month. Here we go again. High pressure is back in over Scandinavia. Winds are coming in from an easterly direction. And look at this. This looks like a beastly easterly as we go into second half of February. What a CFS run this is. What a CFS run. Absolutely unleashing the easterlies. This will be sub-zero by day and night, and heavy snow driving in from the east. That's really cold, bitterly cold, with heavy snow on those gale force easterly winds, and it just carries on into the last week of February as well. I'm not going to run any further than the last week of February, because I'm about done for, I have to say. But we go into the closing days of February. We're still looking very cold. We're still looking very wintry. And even in the start of March, it takes quite a bit of that the Atlantic starts to dislodge that cold air, but eventually it begins to do so. That's up to the 4th of March, and I'm not going to go any further than that. But what a CFS V2 run that was. What a CFS run. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of eye candy. I know I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. Okay, let's get ourselves back to YouTube, and we're going to wrap up the live stream. So, again, what a live stream this has been. We have still got 143 concurrent viewers. We are still have over 140 concurrent viewers, and I am going to go back to YouTube. So, oh wow, has something gone wrong here? Oh gosh, something has gone wrong with that, hasn't it? So the display capture hasn't worked. Oh no. Oh wow. I'll put the display capture back up. Oh no. Wow. Shall we do that again? I think I'm going to have to do that again for everyone. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that again for all of you that missed it. That's because I'm so tired. I am so tired and I just didn't get the display capture back up. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the image back up. I am going to get the image back up. We're going to turn off the display capture. I'm sorry about that, everybody. It's because I'm so tired. I am so tired. I am so tired. Right, so I've realised what's gone on with that. So I'm going to show you. Did you see that? Did you see that? Because now I'm seeing that. Did you see that? Did you see that? I don't think you did. I don't think you did see that, did you? So I'm going to go back to YouTube. I'm going to get those charts up again. And I'll show you everything that I've been talking about. Wow, I'm so tired. And that happened because I am so tired. So I'm just going back to YouTube. I'm going to load the charts back up again. I forgot to display capture, didn't I? Woo! Sorry about this, everybody. I'm just loading my charts back up. So let's do it from like the start of December. You've got to see this, haven't you? Now you've heard me talking about it. You've got to see it, haven't you? Right. Okay. So I've got the charts loaded back up at Metro CR. I'm really sorry about this, everybody. So you want to see this, don't you? You want to see this, don't you? So I've got to psych myself up again for all of this. I'm going to have to psych myself up again for this, aren't I? So, you are going to want to see this. So, I'm really sorry about that, everyone. Right, so, let's turn off the image again. The image is going. Because I've got to show you this CFS V2 run. You missed all of the CFS stuff, didn't you? That must have been a very long section. That's like 15 minutes without any, with just a blank screen. I'm so sorry, everyone. Right, we're display capturing. We're definitely display capturing now. So, right, let's see. We are definitely display capturing. So, let's get rid of that. We're definitely display capturing. Right. I am going to go back to Metro CR. You've missed all of that from the CFS, haven't you? I don't know what's happening, you see. When I'm, when I am over on the other websites, I don't know what's going on. So, here we go. I'm going to show you that again. This is going to be a long live stream now. This is going to be running till like 7:30. So, I'm really sorry about that, everybody. I am really sorry about that. That was a long section where you just had a blank screen. So, I'm really sorry that happened. But let's show you it again. So, this is everything that I was seeing. I was seeing all of this and you was missing it, wasn't you? But I'm sure it sounded very exciting. I'm sure it sounded very exciting. So here we go. Start of December, we've got this ridge that's trying to push northwards. We've got cold air in over Scandinavia. So you have gathered from what I was saying that I'm going to check to make sure this is working. So yeah, we are display capturing. Right, so you'll have gathered that like December is quite on off the cold. But we do put in some cold easterlies. Here we go. Cold easterlies are coming in. So yes, we've got winds coming in from the east. That's around the 12th of December. Winds are in from the east, and we have a cold spell like through the second week of December. Cold and wintry in the second week of December. Then it gets milder as we run up towards Christmas. Here come these southwesterly winds. It's turning milder as we go through in towards Christmas, isn't it? So, a bit of a thaw. Winds are in from the west here. Winds are coming in from a westerly direction. And Christmas Day, so we've got southwesterly winds then on Christmas Day, heading in towards the New Year. This is how things look as we're heading towards the New Year. Winds are turning southerly. Now you've gathered that just after New Year it's going to get colder. You know what's coming, don't you? So the element of surprise is gone, isn't it? So, but here we go. We're moving into a new year. This is 3rd of January. Winds are going into an easterly direction. Again, so yeah, winds are in from the east as we go into like the start of January. Bitterly cold easty winds being unleashed. Low pressure coming up from the south. Low pressure is coming up from the south here. And then we go through towards the 12th of January, and we've got like low pressure on a southerly track. So this low pressure bringing heavy snow into southern parts of the country. So a cold and wintry early January, definitely. Cold and snowy the first half of January. Then we turn the wind into the southwest. We have winds turning into the southwest. It's turning milder, wetter and windier as we go into the second half of January, which of course, from what I've just said, you know that's what happens, don't you? You know that's what happens. So we go through to like the second half of January, come to the end of January. We're in a west to southwesterly wind, and yeah, we're looking mild, wet and windy through to the second half of January. But then the high pressure pulls up to the northwest again. This low pressure dies on a southerly track. We go to early February, 2nd of February, blizzards. That's how the blizzard happens on the 2nd of February. With low pressure to our south, high pressure to the northwest. Winds are in from a easterly direction. It's bitterly cold, and very, very snowy there as well. And then we see a high pressure dropping down over the country as we go through the first week of February. Lots of cold, frosty, foggy conditions with that. A lot of cold, frosty and foggy weather with that. We go through into like the middle part of February. We're still cold, we're still frosty. And then we start to unleash the beast as we go into the second half of February. We're unleashing the beast from the east into the second half of February. Easterly winds are unleashed. Look at that, a real easterly, easterly. Wow. Look at that. Yes, really easterly, and dragging a lot of snow from the east as well. And it just stays very, very cold then as we run on through into the early part of March, and end of February into the early part of March, before it finally starts to turn milder. It finally starts to thaw out as we get through into the early part of March. It turns milder, wetter and windier. That's what the CFS V2 midday run was showing, what I was seeing when you all had a blank screen. So I'm really sorry about that. So I am very, very sorry that that happened. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to turn off the display capture. I'm going to put the image back up because I've realised that you missed all of that, didn't you? I don't want you to miss it. So I'm going to try and get the weather outlook back up. I'm going to try and get back to CFS V2. We'll do that. Let's get to the CFS V2. And we'll see what that has to say. So, yes, we're going to try and go back to CFS V2 website. Here we go. So I've got CFS back up, and I'm going to get the weather outlook back as well for you. So this is going to be a long live stream. I'm so sorry about what happened. I'm so sorry to all of you for what happened, but you're not going to miss anything. You're going to see everything that I was seeing. I'm determined that we're going to do this for you. You are going to see everything that I was seeing while you have that blank screen. So again, I'm so sorry to all of you for what has happened in this live stream. I am really sorry about this, but we are going to bring you all of that data, I can promise you. So right, let's do this then. So again, the image is going to go. We're going to get rid of the image. We are going to put the display capture back up one more time, and we're going to go over to the CFS V2. So here we are on the CFS V2 website. We're going to look at the 700 millibar height anomaly. So you're going to be able to see what these are showing. So this is what CFS V2 is showing for September on the main CFS V2 website. Low pressure to the north, high pressure out to the west. Winds are in from a westerly direction, cool and unsettled for September. We've got a warm and dry October ahead of us, if this is right, with low pressure to the north, high pressure over top of the country in October. A warm and dry October is looking very probable. November looking like this, high pressure to our south, low pressure to the north in November. So interestingly, a wet September, a cool and dry October. December looks like that, low pressure to the northwest, high pressure out to the west southwest, winds in from the northwest direction. So again, quite unsettled and some kind of saps possible. Northern blocking coming back in January. Above average heights coming back in January. Low pressure to our east, high pressure to the northwest. Winds are in from the north. Cold and wintry in January. And here we go. This is how February is looking at the main CFS V2 website. A little bit westerly still, although if anything like that CFS midday run was to verify, was to come off, then obviously we would have a very cold February. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is at the weather outlook. We can have a look at those CFS V2 charts again. So once more, I'm so sorry that you was plunged into darkness for 15 minutes. That's terrible, isn't it? I'm absolutely, that's terrible. Sorry about that. So this is how September looks at the weather out with CFS V2. Low pressures to our north. High pressure is to the west. Winds are in from a westerly direction. It probably was quite funny, though. I suspect that was quite funny, especially when I did the Emperor, and you was all just in darkness. I bet that was funny. I bet that generated a lot of funny comments, actually. October, high pressure to our north and east. Low pressure to our south. Winds in from a southerly to southeasterly direction. A lot of dry weather with that, and quite warm as well. This is November. This is how November looked when you was in darkness. This is what I was seeing for November. High pressure to the west, low pressure to the east. Winds in from the north in November. Right, this is December. A bit in between in December. Higher pressure over the country, lower pressure to the south. Could go either way between cold and mild. This is January, again with high pressure to our north, low pressure to our east, winds in from an east or northeasterly direction. Cold and wintry for January at the weather outlook. And finally, this is February. High pressure over Scandinavia. Winds are in from the east. Easterly winds, and I think this has got to be based on that. Although it says like the North CFS and the midnight CFS, I think this has got to be based on that midday CFS V2 run. I think it is because there's a cold January, there's the easterly February, a little bit on and off, a little bit on off for December. I think this has got to be based on the midday CFS V2 run, although it does say midnight CFS V2 run there. But anyway, that's it. So that's everything that you missed. I'm so sorry to everybody that happened. That is purely due to how tired I am after all of the updates that I've been doing over the past few days. I've been working like absolute mad. And I just didn't enable the display capture. I just turned off the image, but I forgot to enable the display capture. But there we go. We're live. This is a live stream, isn't it? And these things happen. So that's the element of danger that is within the live stream, isn't it? That's what everybody's tuning in for, I suppose, because you just don't quite know. I don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. None of us know what's going to happen on a live stream. Things can and do go very, very quickly wrong. Certainly on my live streams, they can do. Anyway, certainly they can do on my live stream. But I bet it was a funny moment when I did the Emperor. I'm going to have a look back. I'm going to have a look back at the comments and see. I bet it was very, very funny, actually. I bet that was very, very funny when I said, do it! And you was all in darkness. Nothing was happening. What's Gav doing? I bet you was all saying, what are we doing, Gav? What are we doing? I bet you was all saying that, wasn't you? Anyway, hopefully I'll salvage something from this live stream. Have I salvaged something from it? Hopefully I have. I won't be as tired as this next week. I definitely won't be. Splitting